All right. First of all, I want to say good morning to everybody here who've taken the time out to come on campus this morning, cover our football program. Just kind of wanted to do a little bit of tone setting in light of this weekend's victory versus Bethune-Cookman. Obviously, it was some unfortunate incidents unfolded. Of course, we're not proud of those incidents. I lead this department, and so I have to issue an apology to all of the Grambling State University family, all of our stakeholders, our administration, our distinguished alumni. Obviously, that's not who we are, okay? Not going into some of the events that obviously unfolded, which led to it. I want to ensure, of course, we've got a quality group of young men, who reacted based on some of those unfortunate circumstances. That is not an excuse. We accept full responsibility. Probably here in the next 15 to 20 minutes, the Southwestern Athletics Conference is going to issue a set of punishments via suspensions and fines that are commensurate with what happened on the field on Saturday afternoon. All right. Again, we accept full responsibility. The fine portion of it, we will more than likely appeal, and even some of the severities of some of the suspensions, we may likely appeal one or more of those. And so, again, I wanted to just come here. Obviously, Coach Joseph won't be answering any more questions regarding the incident. The game itself is totally up to what he wants to respond to. Obviously, we're looking forward to competing against a red-hot Alcorn State University team and program. We're going to go out and play with the guys we have, all right? And that'll be the end of that. The second thing is, obviously, a few weeks ago, Zay set. And so, we continue to pray for Zay, and we're in contact with Zay and his family daily. We won't be making any additional comments on Zay set situation and family as well. And so, I don't know, Curtis, if you have me taking a few questions, I'm okay with taking just a few. But I wanted to make sure that we were able to convey both of those sentiments as well.
What grounds would you be making the appeal
on? Just the severity of some of the penalties. Obviously, we've got 2 games left. And so, in certain situations where we've got maybe a senior who's suspended for those last 2 games, obviously working in conjunction and coordination with the Southwestern Athletics Conference and being able to review what they've reviewed, to be able to articulate a valid argument for some relief there. We haven't gotten those videos yet. I do know what's kind of coming down. Like I said, you guys will probably be made aware here in the next 15, 20 minutes if it hadn't already been published. But we'll take a look individually and make those decisions at that time.
I'm sure you heard Mickey's post-game press conference, some of his comments. Do you back or agree with what he said afterwards about why not live up in his
Well, I think you have to consider the circumstance, right? You've also got to consider, in the heat of battle in a contested game, hotly contested as it was, and you also have to understand Coach Joseph. One thing that I've never heard Coach Joseph say, and of course I've gotten calls, texts, emails, had personal conversations. I never heard Coach Joseph say he meant disrespect with fighting. Right, and having conversations with him the last couple of days, I think that the sentiment is that he's not condoning fighting. And my personal thought there is I don't think you necessarily meet disrespect with disrespect. We shouldn't tolerate disrespect, but I think it's a way to address it. And obviously, and again, not speaking for the other team and program, that wasn't their first, second, or third time being involved in a situation like that. And so, while we were able to recover and eventually win the game, it's going to cost us moving forward because we reacted, to what they've become privy to now doing on a regular basis. And so, I think you overcome disrespect, by continuing to display the characteristics of a G-man, being high character and understanding what putting that helmet means every day and walking down that hill. But you also, have to understand these men and this legacy that this school has been built on. And so when certain things happen, disrespecting our logo, disrespecting our brand, it causes a reaction that, maybe we need to start having some conversations with our guys about, because it should never end in violence. And so, that's my thought on it. I probably won't comment more on it. But Coach Joseph is fine. We've had a conversation. I've had a conversation with President Lamel and the leadership on our campus. I've had a conversation with Commissioner McClellan and the Commissioner's office, and we're ready to put this behind us and move forward.
All right, thanks, Doc.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Coach, can you give us some opening statements following this weekend's 31-23 victory over Bethune-Cookman?
Okay, good morning. Hayden Benoit, had his first collegiate start here at Grambling. Played a great game. Just watching the film yesterday, he's going to get better week to week. But he was able to get reps this week. He was able to get 65 to 70% of the playbook. Coach Carey is doing a great job with this group. He's playing with his QB4, but he hadn't blinked. He continues to coach him and teach him and meet with him to get him prepared to play. And like he told me Saturday, it's no excuses. He's got to play, and he will play. And Coach Carey said that. And Benoit was a great leader. He led him, and that's what we need him to do. We need him to go out there and lead. Did a great job. We did a great job on defense after we settled down. I think they were under 25% on third down, so he was getting off the field. Played good in special teams, and we was able to run the football. We was able to run the football this week, more than 1 yard. I told you he was going to fix it, so we got to continue just to get better as a football team, and we will.
You mentioned a couple weeks ago when you guys were going through the quarterback shuffling, like the simplifying the offense.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel like you guys have done that for Benoit?
We did. We had to simplify. You really had to go back to his high school days, because when he's a walker, he was our fourth guy that was bringing into camp. So we had some history on him, but we didn't have in-depth history on him because he was a walk-on. So we had to go back to his high school days, look at his high school film, and say, okay, what are you reading here? Okay, you like this. Okay, you want the glance out of this. Okay, I like this, coach. I can throw the deep ball. So we had to go back to his high school days to get him comfortable with some of the things we had to do. But this kid gave us mental effort. He knew we couldn't go in with Hank and Cougar. He knew we couldn't run those two plays, and that's it. So he gave us the mental effort that we needed. So we increased the play calling, but we had to simplify it, take some of the motions off, take some of the checks off and really communicate with him in his helmet. And he did a great job of doing that, but we had to simplify it. But we did a better job of just letting him turn. It's easy to turn around and hand it off, and that's what he was able to do.
Yeah, Coach, I know that you got a 17-year-old behind center. There's a lot of fear about emotional maturity as well. How do you keep him from going super high when he's playing well and also super low when things are going right?
He reminds me a lot of Zay. He spent a lot of time with Zay. So he reminds me a lot of Zay, that he's even killed. If you don't know him, you wouldn't know that he's in a room. He still sits he's supposed to be sitting in the QB1 chair, but he don't sit in the QB1 chair. He still sits in the QB4 chair. He sits and he said, well, this is my chair, But he don't get too high, he don't get too low. But he's a competitor. He likes to compete. And that's one reason I love Louisiana high school football, because they play against tough competition, but also they built a little different, And we talked, on the Tiger Walk, and I said, this is not too big for you. You understand that? He understood it. And he came out and he said, Coach, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play. I'm okay. I'm gonna play. So when he told me he was okay, I was okay, because I lost a lot of sleep and a lot of phone calls to Sharon, waking him up, just making sure everything was good. But he did a great job.
How do you guys move on from such a emotional, hectic, win to kind of right the ship, move on to Alcorn State?
Well, just like we did, set them down, get them back, bat them back on track. They came in yesterday to watch the film. They put it behind them. Now they know we're playing like a hot Bethune team. Now we're going on the road. The toughest thing to do in college football is to go on the road and play. So now we're going into hostile environment in the reservation in Alcorn, and they're going to be ready to go. Like I told the kids, I said, you're going to love the game day atmosphere. I was there. I had the opportunity to coach there in 2013, you know, and the game atmosphere is really, really good there. You know, with Grambling coming to town, they're gonna pack the house. So we expect a rocking crowd, and I told them the only way you can quiet the crowd down is make plays and not let them make plays. So we're looking forward to the test.
What do you know about Alcorn, and how do you think you match up?
Well, we match up well with them, you know, but Sad's doing a really good job over there, you know, because he had some injuries early. Now he's starting to get their kids back healthy. And so now they're going on the street. And one thing about an Alcorn group, just having to work over there, once they get confidence, they really get confidence, and they don't think they can get beat. So they got a lot of confidence right now, but we match up well with them in the run game. You know, they have some really athletic guys in the back end, and on offense, they have one of the best backs in the conference. That we got to have gap integrity. So we think on paper we match up well, but sometimes when you match up on paper, it doesn't leak into the game. So hopefully it leaks into the game that we match up well with them.
You mentioned a couple weeks ago you felt like this program was on the verge of turning the corner.
Mm-hmm.
First winning season secured since 2019. I know you got more goals ahead of you.
Yes.
I guess what do you feel like has allowed you guys to finally click like you wanted to?
Yeah, I just think, you know, just the vision, you know, with Dr. Scott, Dr. Lemay, you see, you know, Dr. Scott, one thing he's going to do, he's always going to be in my corner. And that's what you need as a head coach, for your boss to have patience with you, to know that, hey, we can turn the corner, but you got to stay with me, because it might not happen overnight. See, I thought coming in here that it was going to happen overnight. If I listened to my father's like, it ain't going to happen overnight. You know, but now just having the vision and the support from administration and the support from my staff and the support from the kids, and believing that we can get it done a certain way, you know, changing up the practice schedule, you know, cutting down on some things, you know, doing the things what Andy's telling me to do, getting them, you know, getting us protein, you know, having a nutrition bar cross campus, you know, everything works because it's not just on the football. Winning starts off the field. I always say this, winning starts off the field. It's through the president's office, it's through Dr. Scott's office, and through my office. So when everybody works together, this can happen. And we're turning the curve. We're turning the curve, and we're trying to go 1-0 this weekend, you know, to go to 8-3.
What did you and the AD just talk about in your meeting there? Was it about how you guys are moving forward together, or maybe if he wanted you to change words for the press conference? Like, what did you guys discuss?
No, we're always gonna move together. I'm always gonna take his lead. You know, because I'm a football coach and he's the administrator. I'm a football coach. You know, I coach football. When, you know, situations like this, I'm going to take his lead. But we're one. We're together. You know, and that's one thing about Grambling. Grambling's together. Grambling's together. And I tell people all the time, like, we don't have a whole bunch of love around here. You know, we don't have it. We understand that. The kids understand that. So that's why anytime we go out there, we got to be on our A game to make sure that we execute and we hard on our kids, because when we work with you, we want you to do things a certain way, and we ask them to do things a certain way.
Yeah, Coach, you might be down a few guys this week, and we know you had to simplify the game plan for Benoit. Looking at what holes you may have to fill this weekend, are you going to have to simplify the game plan on both sides, or are you confident that the guys that are going to play know what's going on?
We'll know. We'll have another staff meeting this afternoon once we find out everything. But, you know, I'm out around here. We put 11 on the field, and we fight like tigers. It don't matter who it is. I mean, my thing is this. We're playing with our fourth quarterback. So we got to play with our fourth corner. It's no difference in playing with that fourth quarterback. Your job's a little easier as the fourth corner, you know. So we told them in the beginning of the year, when the NCAA set this limit to 105, that if you sit in these seats and you're part of the 105, sooner or later your number's going to be called, and you have to be ready. That's what you owe this football team. That's what you owe Grambling State University, to give your all. And all those kids bought in. All those kids bought in. So there's a lot of kids that's playing special teams that's doing a great job. You know, now they might have to play some more 11 on 11 offensive defense, and they'll be ready. Those coaches will get them ready. Those coaches won't blink.
All right. If there are no further questions, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.